Now, you may be watching this specific video because you've already hired vendors, you've already booked a venue, or for sure you're not in the very beginning process of the wedding planning. And I want you to know that probably 75% of our brides are exactly where you're at. You're no different than the rest of the brides that have come in with the same situation. It would, of course, be great if everybody hired us in the beginning, but that's not the way it works sometimes. But I want you to know that your situation, whatever it is still fixable. I want to give you a situation, it's a real-life situation of a bride that just recently came in. And she had booked about 50% of her vendors, and she realized that she was in over her head. So what we did is I had her bring in all of the contracts that she had so far. I analyzed the contracts, and I could immediately identify some red flag issues. Now, they were issues that actually I don't think she even knew were issues at the time. So what I did, I didn't want to alarm her anymore. So I just sat her down and we did kind of a little interview, and I said, now tell me what you think this service is providing for you. And she gave me a synopsis of what she thought it was. And then there were things in the contract that were obviously red flags to me. So I had highlighted those earlier. And so I asked her specifically about each of these items. And I said, tell me what your understanding of this particular item is. And so she told me what she thought. And it was actually a very common response. And the common response was, oh, they told me I didn't have to worry about that. Oh, they told me they weren't going to charge me for that. Oh, they said that wasn't going to be an issue. Well, I know better after 27 years. I've been in the business long enough to know that when people say that, you really can't believe it. So I didn't want to alarm her at all, but I said, okay, well, let's go meet with the venue and let me see if they have the same understanding that you have, because I just want to make sure that I understand everything clearly. So the bride left, and I made an appointment with the venue. And so I met with the venue, and I asked all these red flag items. And of course, I didn't just come in like that, but I came in and I said, I want to make sure that I understand everything clearly. And I was talking with the bride, and she had a little bit different understanding than what I read in the contract, so I just want to clear everything up. And so as I did that, the venue coordinator said, oh yeah, don't worry about that, we're not going to charge her for that, or we're not going to hold her to that policy. And she was very friendly, and so at most I'll say I was hopeful. So when I left the meeting, I sent an email, and in that email I outlined each of the detailed items that I had a question about and the venue coordinator's response. The next day I got an email from my email that I sent, and every answer that was on there was different than the answer that I got in the office. See, the difference was this time I had it in writing. And the venue that the bride thought initially was going to be $1,500 would have ended up costing her $4,500. That's a huge difference, and to be quite honest with you, that extra money that bride did not have. And so after meeting with the bride, I did have to break the bad news to her. And now it's her option. If she wanted to stay with the venue, I would have totally supported her with that. And I just would have made sure that she understood the policies and that we followed all the policies that the venue had. Well, after a little while, the bride decided that probably would not be the best idea. But I also want you to know that before that bride came in, I had alternative options for her. So when she came in, I had 3 different venues laid out that would all be within her budget. Even though she would be losing a deposit at the other place, the other venues I had negotiated such a great deal that she actually saved money and got a better deal going with these other venues. And we did the same thing with several other service providers that she had already secured. So in the end, not only did she save that money, she saved all that stress, but she ended up having a better wedding than she thought she could have. And that's just one way that we can help you from this point. But I want you to know that you're not in too deep. We can still fix it.